stories spread at the start of the full-scale invasion about a fearless Ukrainian fighter pilot known as the Ghost of Kyiv, who was said to have shot down at least 6 Russian aircraft over the capital. That legend later turned out to be a morale-boosting myth rather than a real person, invented to give Ukrainians a sense of hope in the darkest days of the war. In contrast, there is nothing fictional about a recent video released by the Ukrainian Air Force that shows a French-built Mirage 2000 fighter jet carrying 6 cruise missile kill markings painted on its fuselage. This suggests that Ukraine may finally have a real-life Ghost of Kyiv, a highly trained and battle-proven pilot with an exceptional talent for destroying some of Russia's most advanced cruise missiles and saving countless lives in the process. Even Russian analysts struggle to understand how any pilot could achieve something like this, but as long as Ukraine has aviators of this caliber defending its airspace, the Kremlin will find it extremely difficult to gain anything resembling air superiority as the conflict moves toward its 4th anniversary. On November 17th, the official X account of the Ukrainian Air Force posted a short video with the caption stating that a Mirage 2000 of the Ukrainian Air Force was flying a combat mission and waiting for good news from France, ending with the message that together they would win. The 46-second clip is set to the French pop song Je Avoue as the camera glides around a Mirage 2000, panning, zooming, and circling the jet in rhythm with the music. Viewers also see a Ukrainian pilot preparing for flight, suiting up before climbing into the cockpit and launching into the sky. At first glance, it looks like a light-hearted promotional piece, but aviation enthusiasts and defense experts quickly noticed one crucial detail, a blink and you miss it moment around 10 seconds into the footage. For a brief instant, the camera reveals a line of missile kill markings painted on the side of the Mirage's fuselage. For anyone unfamiliar with this tradition, fighter jets, bombers, helicopters, ground vehicles, and warships are often decorated with small symbols known as kill marks, mission symbols, or victory markings. Each emblem represents some form of success or victory achieved by that specific aircraft or vehicle. Fighter pilots, for example, may add a mark for every enemy aircraft they shoot down in air-to-air combat. This practice dates back to the First World War and became even more widespread during the Second World War, when pilots of the United States Army Air Forces and other air arms often painted Nazi swastikas or Japanese flags on their planes for each destroyed enemy target. Victory markings are also common in the current Russia-Ukraine war. Ukrainian air defense systems, such as American-supplied Patriot batteries or German Gepard self-propelled anti-aircraft guns, are frequently decorated with icons that stand for every Russian aircraft, missile, or Shahed kamikaze drone they have successfully destroyed. What makes this Mirage 2000 special is that this is one of the very few times such an impressive row of kill markings has been seen on the side of a Ukrainian fighter jet. Close examination of the shapes of the symbols suggests that each one represents a Russian Kh-101 or possibly Kh-555 cruise missile, with many experts leaning toward the Kh-101. The Kh-101 is one of Russia's most capable and widely used long-range cruise missiles in the war against Ukraine. It can reach peak speeds of around Mach 0.8, corresponding to roughly 980 kilometers per hour, just below the speed of sound. Development began during the 1980s, test launches took place in the 1990s, and the missile officially entered Russian service in 2012. Designed exclusively for launch from the air, it is powered by a TRD-D50A turbojet engine that gives it a maximum operational range of about 3,500 kilometers. Each missile carries a conventional warhead weighing around 400 kilograms, although Russia has also developed a related variant, the Kh-102, capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. Each Kh-101 is believed to cost at least £2 million sterling, and these weapons have inflicted severe damage on both military and civilian infrastructure across Ukraine since the invasion began. Only days after the start of the full-scale war, reports indicated that approximately 8 Kh-101 missiles were fired by two 160 and two 95 ms strategic bombers over the Black Sea, striking Vinnytsia International Airport. Much later, during the massive missile strikes on July 8, 2024, Russia once again relied on a large salvo of Kh-101s, hitting targets such as the Artem machine-building plant in Kiev and a children's hospital in the capital. These weapons have caused tremendous suffering and destruction across many parts of Ukraine, and modern cruise missiles of this type are notoriously difficult to intercept. Their high-speed, low-level flight profiles and relatively stealthy design make them hard for radar and air defense networks to detect and track until they are very close to their targets. That is why it is so inspiring to see a Ukrainian pilot in a French-built jet apparently shooting down at least 6 of these missiles, personally destroying more than $12 million worth of Russian munitions. Each missile that is intercepted not only wastes one of the Kremlin's most expensive precision weapons, it also prevents yet another tragedy, such as the devastation of a children's hospital or the destruction of critical energy infrastructure. The Mirage 2000 itself is one of the few fighter platforms that could realistically perform such a task. Developed by Dassault Aviation, France's premier military aircraft manufacturer, and the same company that designed the famous Rafale, the Mirage 2000 is a fourth-generation, single-engine, multi-role fighter. It was conceived in the late 1970s as a successor to the earlier Mirage 3. The prototype first flew in March 1978, and the jet entered service with the French Air Force in 1984. Although it is no longer a cutting-edge design in terms of age, it is still widely regarded as a reliable, highly capable aircraft with an impressive mix of performance, simplicity, and versatility that allows it to outperform many contemporaries. The Mirage 2000 is about 14 meters long, with a wingspan of roughly 9 meters and a height of just over 5 meters. In terms of mass, an empty Mirage weighs around 7,500 kilograms, and its maximum takeoff weight is close to 17,000 kilograms. The aircraft is powered by a Snecma M53P2 afterburning turbofan engine that generates more than 95 kilonewtons of thrust with afterburners engaged and allows the jet to reach top speeds of about Mach 2.2 or close to 2,735 kilometers per hour at high altitude. In its standard configuration, the Mirage 2000 has a range of roughly 1,550 kilometers, though external fuel tanks and other loadouts can extend this considerably, and it can climb to altitudes above 17,000 meters. Armament-wise, the Mirage 2000 carries two 30mm DEFA 5.54 internal cannons, each with around 125 rounds and a theoretical rate of fire of up to 1,800 rounds per minute. Externally, the jet has 9 hardpoints, 4 beneath the wings and 5 under the fuselage, capable of carrying external fuel tanks, air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground munitions or other payloads, with a total capacity of approximately 6,300 kilograms. For engaging hardened or well-defended targets, the Mirage can carry air-to-air missiles such as the Matra R550 Magic II and the Matra Super 530D, along with a broad selection of air-to-surface weapons including laser-guided bombs, exocet anti-ship missiles, and in some specialized configurations, even nuclear-capable cruise missiles. Its avionics and defensive systems are equally impressive. Depending on the variant, the Mirage 2000 can be equipped with a variety of radar systems for detecting enemy aircraft or incoming threats. It also features self-defense equipment, such as radar warning receivers, dispensers for chaff and flares, and electronic jamming systems that interfere with enemy sensors and communications. Taken together, these features give the Mirage 2000 a well-balanced blend of offensive power, survivability, stealth, and maneuverability. Its powerful engine provides rapid acceleration and quick climbs, while its delta wing layout balances speed and agility with structural simplicity. The ability to mount a wide assortment of bombs, missiles, and pods makes the Mirage 2000 one of the most flexible Western fighters still in active service, able to perform air superiority missions, ground strikes, and even attacks against naval targets with the same basic platform. The jet also has a long combat record, having been employed by numerous air forces worldwide, including those of France, Egypt, Greece, Brazil, Taiwan, India, the United Arab Emirates, and since this year, Ukraine. France first announced plans to transfer a batch of Mirage 2000s to Kyiv in 2024. Then, in February of this year, Sébastien Lecornu, who was serving as France's defense minister at the time and is now the country's prime minister, confirmed on X that the first jets had already arrived in Ukraine. On June 6, 2024, Emmanuel Macron declared that French Mirage 2000s were being delivered to Ukraine and stated that the first of them had reached Ukrainian soil that day. Ukrainian pilots, who had spent several months training in France, were now ready to take part in defending their country's skies. According to Lecornu, several Ukrainian aviators traveled to France to undergo training on how to operate and fight with the Mirage 2000. It is believed that this program was conducted at the Nancy Air Base in northeastern France and lasted roughly 5 to 6 months. Judging by the achievements of at least one of these pilots, who seems to have destroyed multiple high-end Russian cruise missiles, the training was highly effective. In total, the French government has promised 6 Mirage 2000s for Ukraine so far, although Ukrainian commanders have reportedly requested twice that number. Since France still flies a fleet of around 24 to 28 Mirage 2005F aircraft, it is entirely possible that more could be transferred to Ukraine in the future. However, Ukraine may not have to rely solely on Mirages. President Volodymyr Zelensky has recently signed a letter of intent with France to obtain as many as 100 Dassault Rafale fighters in an effort to build one of the strongest air forces on the planet. Zelensky was in Paris finalizing the terms of this arrangement around the same time that the Ukrainian Air Force released its Mirage 2000 video. After signing the letter together with Emmanuel Macron at the Villa Coublay Air Base near Paris, Zelensky declared that this would create one of the greatest air defense systems in the world. He explained that, beyond the Rafales themselves, the agreement also opens the door for Ukraine to receive an expanded portfolio of aerial and air defense assets, including SAMP-T surface-to-air missile systems, new radar units, Scalp air-launched cruise missiles, and AASM Hammer precision-guided bombs. This comprehensive package is expected to significantly reinforce Kyiv's aerial arsenal and sends a clear message that Ukraine is not stepping back from the fight, but is committed to rearming and rebuilding its military to be even stronger as the conflict moves toward its fifth year. The timing of this deal is crucial because Russia is increasing the tempo of its attacks. In recent weeks, Ukraine has experienced a noticeable escalation in drone and missile strikes, while the Russian Ministry of Defense has claimed the capture of several small settlements in the Kharkiv, Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Zaporizhzhia regions. Ukraine urgently needs additional support to keep its dense and highly effective air defense grid running and to intercept as many Russian aerial threats as possible, especially since these attacks are likely to grow even more intense over time. Just a few days ago, on November 14th, Russia launched yet another massive wave of drones and missiles into Ukraine. Zelensky estimated that the attack involved around 430 drones and 18 missiles, many of which were directed against Kyiv. Photos and videos from across the capital showed flames and smoke rising above multiple districts as people ran for shelter or gathered among collapsed buildings and charred debris. Once again, the Ukrainian Air Force managed to shoot down the majority of the incoming weapons, as it has done on an almost nightly basis for many months, but some of the missiles and drones still penetrated the city's defenses. As a result, Kyiv saw significant destruction and casualties with high-rise apartment blocks, administrative buildings, a medical facility, and a school all damaged or destroyed. 6 people were killed in Kyiv, 2 more died in southern Ukraine, and dozens were wounded. These kinds of strikes are now routine, and Ukraine has no choice but to confront them directly and do everything possible to reduce the damage and loss of life. The new partnership with France will be a major help. Even with only a small number of Mirage 2000s, Ukraine has already succeeded in shooting down at least some of Russia's most sophisticated missiles. The question now is how much stronger Ukraine's air power will become once up to 100 Rafales are added to its inventory. While the Rafale is not a direct successor to the Mirage 2000, it surpasses the older jet in almost every technical category. It was conceived from the outset as a highly flexible omni-role fighter with modular avionics and cutting-edge sensors, capable of performing air superiority, strike, maritime attack, and reconnaissance missions all with the same airframe. By comparison, the Mirage 2000 began life primarily as an air defense fighter and was only later adapted for a broader range of missions. The Rafale is equipped with 2 Snecma M88 engines, which provide substantially better acceleration and agility than the Mirage's single engine and give the Rafale the ability to supercruise, flying at supersonic speeds without constantly using afterburners. The second engine also adds a margin of safety, since the jet has a higher chance of surviving damage or a malfunction and returning to base even if one power plant fails. In terms of agility, both jets share a delta-wing configuration, but the Rafale incorporates several important refinements. It features active canards that significantly boost maneuverability and a more advanced flight control system, helping it earn a reputation as one of the most agile fighters of its generation. Technologically, the Rafale carries RBE-2 active electronically scanned array radar and an infrared search and track system, along with the world-class Spectra electronic warfare suite. The aircraft offers sensor fusion capabilities approaching those of some fifth-generation fighters, combining data from multiple sensors to give pilots exceptional situational awareness. And although the Mirage 2000 is renowned for its flexible weapons loadouts, the Rafale goes even further, with 14 hardpoints and a maximum external payload of around 9.5 tons. It can carry a vast array of weapons, including Scalp cruise missiles, AASM smart bombs, long-range beyond visual range air-to-air missiles, and even nuclear warheads in certain configurations. This dramatically expands the roles it can perform and the ways it can surprise and destroy enemy assets, from hardened bunkers and bridges to naval vessels. The Rafale's survivability is also superior even to the already capable Mirage. Its twin-engine arrangement provides redundancy, the Spectra suite offers powerful jamming and threat detection, and the airframe's low radar cross-section design makes the jet harder to detect and track until it is relatively close to enemy radars. In almost every area, from sensors, weapons, and maneuverability to range, payload, and onboard systems, the Rafale not only outperforms the Mirage 2000 but stands among the most capable fighter aircraft currently in operation anywhere in the world. Nor is the Rafale the only advanced jet that Ukraine aims to add to its arsenal. Kyiv has also signed a letter of intent with Sweden to potentially acquire up to 150 Saab JS-39 Gripen fighters in a deal estimated at around $15 billion. Operated by Sweden, Hungary, South Africa, Brazil, and others, the Gripen is widely praised for its agility, multi-role design, ease of maintenance, and cost-effectiveness. While it does not match the absolute top-tier jets like the American F-35 in every metric, it still offers many valuable advantages. Together with incoming F-16 fighters and the planned Rafale fleet, Gripens are expected to form a key part of Ukraine's Air Force for many years. If Ukraine continues to train its pilots to the same high standard it has already demonstrated, Russia may be facing serious trouble. After all, if Ukrainian pilots can shoot down multiple Kh-101 cruise missiles while flying Mirage 2000, the potential damage they could inflict while operating Rafales is immense. So far, neither side has been able to achieve full control of the skies throughout the war. However, Ukraine's rapidly evolving and increasingly sophisticated air force could finally change that situation once new jets begin to arrive and enter frontline service. You can find more detailed information about the Rafale agreement between France and Ukraine in dedicated reports that delve into the terms, numbers, and timelines of the deal. You can also watch further analysis pieces on Sweden's pledge to provide up to 150 Gripens and what that means for the future of the war. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with new, in-depth and timely coverage of the latest events and developments from the front lines in Ukraine and across the wider world.